start ka na. Baka kumakububan pa kita.
I am MohamadNaimA.Mambuay. The topic is all about global and global communication in multicultural settings. Introduction. You have seen from the previous chapter that we exist in a multicultural environment where all of us belong to multiple overlapping cultures, such as nation, regional, social class, ethics, professional age, religion, and gender cultures. We learn and invade these cultures not only from people we interact and associate with, families, relatives, friends, neighbors, classmates, teachers, and churchmates, but also from the media, radio and television, books, and any other printed material and the internet. Our multiple cultures make a communication complicated, but if we expose, observe, to varied cultures and learn to recognize and respect cultures' difference, we can less our own communication difficulties and life in a multicultural society will become much easier to deal with. Culturally appropriate terms, expression and image. Priya Stark in her book The Journey Echo selection from Priya Stark. Echo Travels says every country has its own way of seeing things. That important things is that which lies behind people's words. Cultural difference result is measure understanding and language more than anything else is the heart of culture. Station aside in late 2017. This means that being proficient in English or in plans does not quarantine our being able to fully understand what another speaker of English is trying to communicate unless we become fully aware of how that speaker uses English based on his own culture. To illustrate this, let's take a look at the two major and variety of dialects of English, American English and British English. In American, the first floor is equivalent to the British ground floor, and the American second floor is the British first floor elevator apartment, eggplant hold and trunk of a car, drugstore, garbage can and parking lot in American are left flat, a virgin bonnet and bolt of a car, chemist, dustbin and car park respectively in the British. If a laundry say a left Mitchell, dummy and dummy nappy in the pram, a New York needs to know that dummy is Pacific nappy is there and pram is baby carriage. To understand the Londoner statement, since Filipino use American English, we have to know difference in vocabulary between the two varieties of English. If you want to successfully communicate with the speaker of British English, but vocabulary is just one aspect of the differences. Most of Filipino cannot understand how the British speaker to another difference between the two varieties in lies and speaking, particularly pronation using different vowel sound and stretching the word in a different place. Look at the example in the table.
Hello, good evening. I am Muhammad Musa. World English is in English as international language. In the present era of high technology, the issue on culture and use of English has become more complicated than what it seems because of the emergence of the now recognized world Englishes. These varieties of English are used by three identified concentric circle of societies, CACRU 1997, as cited in Kilikaya 2009. The inner circle covers the native English-speaking countries, England, USA, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. The outer circle comprises the former colonies. The example of India, Africa, Nigeria, Pakistan, Malaysia, Singapore, Philippines, and Bangladesh. And the expanding circle consists of countries. Example, China, Japan, Germany, Turkey, Egypt, Israel, Saudi Arabia, Korea, and Taiwan, which are affected by the widespread use of English as a global language, an important language in business, science, technology, and education. When turning to other circle, the question of what counts of a language and what may be considered a variety of English is somewhat intricate. Pidgins and Creoles belong to the issue. Pidgins are used as lingua franca for trade or any other practical interaction. Honey Evans, 2015. A pidgin uses words from the languages of both communicators to understand each other, but it is not the language of either communicator. The pidgins is a little more than a string of nouns, verbs, and adjectives, often arranged to place old shared information first and new information later in the sentence. Bickerton, 1983, as cited in Money and Evans, 2015, page 211. The language providing vocabulary is called the lexifier, and the language that provides the syntactic structure is called the substrate. After an extended period of use of a pidgin in a community, when the pidgin becomes more fully developed and serves as the language of the community, it becomes a Creole. For example, Hawaii Creole English HCE. Refer to the following text of HCE from the Bible, Money, Evans, 2015, page 212. Day number 1. Then God say, I like light to shine, and the light start to shine. God see how good the light, then they put the light on one side and the dark on the other side. The light time, he give the name daytime. The dark time, he give the name nighttime. So had the nighttime and daytime as day number 1. In the HCE text, English is the lexifier language, although the written from a phonological difference. The significant difference in talks are due to the number of languages, including Cantonese, Portuguese, and Japanese, that contribute to the form of HCE. In the process of learning English as either a second language or a foreign language, people from outer and expanding circle develop an interlanguage, a learner language which is neither Pidgin nor Creole, that deviates from the norms of the target language. This is a transitional linguistic system at all levels: phonology, morphology, syntax, semantics, pragmatics. The interlanguage results from several language learning processes, such as borrowing patterns from the mother tongue, extending patterns from the target language, and expressing meaning using the words of grammar that are already known. Richards, Platt 1997. Hello, good evening, ma'am. I am Jimar L. Orio Jr. Linguistic preferences and nonverbal behavior. Variations in the way different cultures use language, like linguistic preferences and nonverbal behaviors, also cause miscommunication. Nuances is linguistic preferences provide hints about behavior, manners, and thinking as a cultural group. Lee 2017, Zielinski 2017. For instance, Spaniards and Italians who prefer eloquence and expressiveness to exactness to tend to be flowery with their language. In contrast, the English who are very polite use understatement to avoid confrontation. So they sometimes end up being ambiguous. Asian, including the Japanese and Chinese, consider harmony an important virtue, so to avoid confrontation, they often say yes to many things with the understanding of yes, I hear you, or yes, I understand, and not necessarily yes, I agree. People in Latin America, Southern Europe, and Japan, however, are not comfortable with ambiguity because they are conditioned to expect absolute truths. Scandinavians tend to be reserved. They are completely focused, dedicated listeners. Germans, on the other hand, are very logical in both manner and words. Nonverbal behaviors, which Edward T. Hall, 1959, called the silent language, are expressive human attributes that impart feelings, attitudes, reactions, and judgment which need to be given continued attention because they are acquired mainly through acculturation, adopting the traits of another cultural group. Moreover, forever they are unspoken, are largely unconscious, so that implied meaning are more felt than understood. As cited in Berlin 2017. Here are some differences in the nonverbal behaviors of some other cultures that can help us coexist with them in the globalized community we are in because of technology. International Ethics 2017 Dimensions of Body Language 2017. Here are some differences in the nonverbal behaviors of some other cultures that can help and use with them in the globalized community we are in because of technology. International Ethics 2017. Dimensions of Body Language 2017. Australia. The popular American thumbs up signs in consider absent the peace sign with the palm facing toward the speaker is the obscene up yours insult. Next. France. Your hand should be visible at all times, even when seated at a table. Germany. It is impolite to put your hand in your pockets. Gum chewing in public and rude. Sit on after you have been offered a seat. Use titles to show respect. Be punctual because punctuality is important. Length distance with the person. Touching and patting are taboo. When you are seated, your feet should be facing the ground. The soles of your shoes should not be shown. Indonesia. When you are in a private home of mosque, be sure to remove your shoes. position them by pointing them toward the door from which you entered. Hugging and kissing in public is inappropriate. Japan. The bow is still the tradition in greetings. Bend your body about a 30-degree angle from the waist for men. Palm your should be faced up toward the knee for women. Hands should be folded in front of you as you bow. Saudi Arabia. Expect greetings to be very emotional. They consist of a Salam Alaikum, may God be with you, followed by a handshake and then a Kif Halak, how are you? Two men hold each other's hand in public. This is true to all Middle Eastern countries. When reaching for something or offering something, be sure to do with your right hand. Using the left hand is considered a taboo. When sitting, be sure the soles of your shoes face the ground. It is considered taboo for the soles to be showing. Conversation. Pointing with one or two fingers is rude. Avoid showing the soles of your shoes. Your feet should be used for walking, nothing else. Feet are considered unclean parts of your body and should never, for instance, be used for moving anything a chair closer to a bowl, for example. How is appropriate. It is considered good manners to not acknowledge an older person by standing when the person enters a room. One way to show respect for elders is by lowering your eyes. Loud, laughter is rude when laughing in public. Cover your mouth. Blowing is also in poor taste and should be done in private. Be sure to remove your shoes when entering a temple or a person home. A hug or patting another on the back is rude. Space by maintaining a 2 arms length distance. Men should wait for a British woman to extend her hand before shaking hands. When meeting someone, rather than saying it's nice to meet you, more is how do you do? Appropriate response.
Kaya timing yan, yan dito, pansin.
I am Ryan. Tips for successful multicultural communication. Being a member of cultural diverse society, you can adapt strategies to avoid being a misunderstood when communicating with another culture group. Here have some tips you can follow. Number one, simplify your message by using less complex sentence structure and vocabulary. Number two, avoid choosing to be understood. Number three, define the meaning of critical technical word and acronyms. Number four, avoid the non-standard abbreviation such as UR or UR. Number five, we have painted or try to follow the other communicator idea and logic, which may be different from yours. Number six, ask him to repeat once, maybe twice, or to say his idea in different manners if you do not understand it. Number seven, remaining cool and confused even when you have a media and mistake that result in embarrassment for you and feeling embarrassed by another. In most cases, they did not mean to embrace you. Number eight, clarify the meaning and intention of something sometimes said or done by someone who comes from a culturally different background before you become angry or express the strong emotion that you feel. Number 9. Clarify someone action who words with a person or with else who has experience in dealing with similar culture groups. If you cannot think if you any positive interpretation of the action done or words said because you may be missing something. Number 10. Adapt your speech requirement to that someone from another culture group. Whatever possible, you can judge someone for just by the distance to which he extends his hand when shaking hands. Number 11. Give me the benefit of the doubt to someone who does or says something that seems weird and or wrong. Ask yourself, how else could I interpret this word? Tips for non-native English speakers. As a learner of English, you can obvious the following step. Avoid the mis- miscommunication when using English in doesn't simply. Number 1. If you do not mean people suggesting words so that you can communicate more quickly, say. Number 2. Try to participate in English discussion, especially brainstorm sessions, even if you feel unforgettable. Number 3. If your school offer English as second language courses, take them if your English is already functional courses designed to help you modify your accent to make it more understandable by native English speaker can be particularly beneficial. Number 4, keep a dictionary hand or Google to make sure that word you have mean what you think they mean. Number 5, as someone who is pushing in English for help with your documents, presentation, and even sensitive emails or phone calls if necessary. Number 6. Before calling someone, think of what you want to say and look up a word that you are unsure of. If you must leave a voicemail message, compose the message of paper they read into the phone. Number 7. Make sure you know and use unfortunately and technical word that people in your field use the terms repeatedly until they become a second nature. Number 8. Do not attempt to use an idiomatic expression unless you are quite sure about what they mean and how they are using their incorrect or in the wrong situation can backfire. Language register for more effective communication. Language vary according to either the use or its use. Our previous lesson and discussion focus on the dialect of variation according to the use, defined by variables such as social background, geography, sex, and age. For example, American English, British English. Variation according to use, on the other hand, are called register. A register, therefore, is characterized by difference in the type of language selected as appropriate to different type of situation. Holiday 1964 Arthritis of Politics. The term register referred to particular varieties a style of speaking and writing which vary in their degrees of formality depending on the topic, what purpose, why context, where, and audience. Who register doesn't mean, for example, this is a legal register, a register of a birth register of banking, and register of weather forecasting. Notice the different registers as shown in the table for ratings in both speaking and writing. Register and style 2011. Very formal. How did you know? Formal. Hello. Neutral. Hello. Informal. Hi. Very information. What's happening? One. Very formal version of static register. The register's version is time and content because it really never changes. Example are prayer, Lord prayer laws, marriage rules, insurance policies, licenses, and wills. Number 2, formal regulate register. This is the formal and impersonal language, which is one way in nature and use informal situation. Example are book, news report, magazine, or journal article, business letter, official species, and sermon. Number 3, neutral professional or consecutive register. This is the normal style of speaking between communication who use more multiply accept language that conform to the formal society. standard. Example are the type of communication between strategies, teacher and student, superior and subordinate, doctor and patient, and lower and client. Information. Number four. Information group of textual or descriptive information language between friend and peer, which use slang, graphics, and colloquialisms. Example are the conversation, chat, and emails, blogs, twitters, and personal letter. Number five, very informal, personal, or intimate purchase. This is private, limited language reserved for family member of intimate people. Example are the kind of the interaction between husband and wife, boyfriend and girlfriend, sibling and parent and child.
Hindi may actually.